This relationship talks with Rick and Naaman. I'm Rick.
And I am the DJ Blue.
And he's Naaman.
I'm still the DJ Blue. 100%. Never gonna change. Gonna be me.
Naaman.
The DJ Blue.
And it's Naaman. I'm gonna let you introduce our guest.
Oh, today we have a very special guest. A very special guest. Dr. Saudia.
Hey. How's everybody doing?
Good.
It's always good when we can sit down and talk to you. So
Always amazing.
I feel so much love when I
There
come
you
to you
go.
all.
you should. Best
all the
friends
time.
over here.
Life.
Let's
All
talk
the
about
time.
it. Just call us when
That's
you need
it.
us.
That's it.
When I need a fix,
There you go.
There it is.
There you
call my
go.
pushes.
There you go.
You got it.
Love is a drug.
Exactly.
And we are the
That's
plug.
right.
That's it.
That's it.
So I feel like we've kind of talking about this subject for quite a while, and we've hinted at it on different episodes that we've done together, but it's finally time to talk about it. The question of the day is, do movies and television set up unrealistic expectations for relationships?
And how, Timmy? And how? Gee, of course they do.
Ooh,
That's
so
like-
dicey.
That's a no-brainer right there.
You think they do, Naaman?
Oh, always.
I'm
Always.
inclined to think that they do.
Always.
I'm torn.
Uh-oh.
I think some may, others I know do not.
All right, so all right. I like the way that this is going.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you give me an example of one that you don't think sets a bad expectation?
All right, so I think this is an old movie. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's current, but the movie Hitch,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
excellent example.
You think that
I
was
would
a good example?
because the question was, does it set you up for unrealistic
Mhm.
expectations, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And we saw all the wrong things about an individual that ended up being the right thing for the person that was right for them.
Yeah. So that movie would have been a good representation of, I would say, realistic expectations.
I would only take one thing. I would take one issue with that movie, and it's something that we kind of talked about it before. The one issue,
Go for it.
the one issue that I have with that is that it always is set up so that when the main female character came and she had messed up and she wanted to apologize, the male lead, like Will Smith's character, had to do something like he kind of blew her off, and then he had to go back and do this grand gesture just to get her back, and he's running and he's jumping on a car. That's the one part that
You've never done that?
no, you have never.
That's my last
You
two
jumping on-
relationships.
It's like no
last
jumping
two-
on cars.
No jumping on
Right.
cars. Like
Nobody's-
I keep my feet on the ground.
Shoot, I had to knock
That was
somebody
just-
off of my car.
That was just the one part because I feel like it was kind of artificial in nature.
I disagree.
You think
I
so?
disagree.
You
I
think
totally 100%
See?
disagree.
Whoa.
one like not even like
She got some
80%,
examples. That means she got some
100%.
examples.
This is not Maury. 99.9. No, this is 100% disagree. And I'll tell you why.
Say no agreement.
In that movie, with that particular scene, she was coming to apologize, and she actually did apologize.
okay.
And when someone takes the effort with someone that they're kind of catching feelings for, who they think is feeling the same, we are expecting that they will receive us.
Yeah.
Most people are vulnerable with their emotions. So if I put myself out there and I really apologize and I'm very sincere with my apology, I have just opened myself up to vulnerability and I have now been rejected. Y'all know me, I talk about attachment. So she basically experienced a sense of rejection. Do I know whether or not that's her attachment style? No clue. And more than likely, based on her character, it was not. She was probably avoiding. But that being the case, that means she put herself out there to share her emotions and she was left by herself, which meant, dang, why did I even bother doing that? There I go, exposing myself again just to be let down. So when he comes back, now the question becomes, is this going to be a cat and mouse game that we play? Or are you actually going to be real with me? It's not a matter of you just get to come in and just share a little something like, okay,
Right.
I get it. That person generally believes, I put myself on the line because that's really difficult for them. It's hard for them to express their emotions. So that's huge in their world. That means they're looking for something from you that is huge in your world.
Right.
He is very grand with his gestures, his communications. So he needed to match her at the level of what she had did.
Wow.
I mean, well, when you put it like that.
Yeah, I would see that being
It
I
kind
can
of
see
sound
it.
all right.
I mean,
see
like
it.
when you put it like that, I might change my opinion a little bit.
I can see. Well, you don't really think about it like that.
No, I didn't think about it in that way. I was thinking about it. So I feel men and women usually kind of relate to a character, and I feel like it's usually the man or woman in the movie. So like in that particular instance, I knew that he had just been incredibly heartbroken because this woman that he was falling for betrayed his trust and ruined his livelihood. And not only that, like he thought that she didn't love him in a way that he was starting to love her, and she was coming to apologize, and that almost felt like he was just in a place of pain where he wasn't ready to receive that apology. So I was thinking of it in that way.
I would agree with the fact that he wasn't ready, but that wasn't the question.
I guess that's true. I like how matter of fact you are. Like, no, that wasn't the question. Like, you gotta ask me that.
Pay attention, Richard.
Like I'm talking to my clients. I'm sorry, but can we go back to the question?
Can we go back to the question?
There you go. So get back to it.
And in that particular instance, like though, I feel like before he even went back, I feel like it probably would have been some time in between there, maybe, because I feel like if he was that hurt, I don't think he would have been so ready to run back. But I guess it depends on the person.
There was a couple
too.
of scenes that passed.
A couple of scenes.
So we don't know how long it was.
Yeah, it could have been days.
Yeah.
The movie world, it was like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, movie world. But I'm saying, like, realistically, if there was like a sun up, sun down type situation, it could have been a couple days. Even still, I mean, it really doesn't matter. If he got through it, he got through it. I mean, he could have got through it in movie time, which was 2 minutes. If he worked through it, I would say healthily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's instead of just, brushing it off.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how. I mean, I feel like that movie. I feel like it's criminally underrated, and I feel like it should have been a second part to that movie, just because.
what would you have the second part be?
I've actually started writing it.
Thank you, Dr. Sadia.
So the second part of it, depending on when it was written, if it was written right after it, I feel like he could have went on a book tour. And the thing about it was that he was creating opportunities. So what he did was actually legitimate. He wasn't manipulating anybody into falling in love with somebody that they weren't compatible with, but he was setting these opportunities for people to to at least approach and have an opportunity to talk to someone that they were interested in.
Will Smith gonna steal your idea?
I can't say too much, but I had a whole idea of like a whole Hitch part 2. Hitched. That's
oh, that's cute. I like it. Hitched. Okay.
Yeah. So I can Will Smith, if you listening, hit me up. We can write. It's so many popular tropes and movies, and it's like I kind of look back at like Hallmark and stuff like that, and I feel like Hallmark has like maybe like 3 different storylines. So Hallmark is I'm engaged, and then I go back home, and then I see somebody that I used to talk to, and then I'm still in love with them. So I break off my engagement, and then by the end of the movie, I'm engaged to somebody else.
That's every Christmas movie.
Hallmark does not count
because what?
You have to think of the brand Hallmark, right?
Yeah.
So the brand is you come into our store, you find the card that expresses your emotions 100% to be conveyed to this other person who will receive you. That is the brand of Hallmark. So if I'm staying true to my brand, my movie has to as well. And everybody I know that loves them some Christmas movies, shoot, we are like, when do the Hallmark movies come out? I know she's gonna move to the small town, hate somebody, fall in love, and be married by the end of the movie,
and then be married to the poor man.
To the other are the person that she hated. Like, I can't stand Jesper.
She grew up with him. He did something stupid.
But they used to date, though.
They used to date.
And he ran off to a big city.
You gotta love it because love prevails, and that's what everybody wants.
Realistically, I would say. But
no?
I mean, I don't know. It's different. Like I would say I've never really seen like people be like, man, I really hated you when we were younger. Like, you know what I mean? This
No, I
guy
love
is
you.
so amazing, but we're having a good time putting this tree up. And then, I mean, that part for me is
Well,
unrealistic.
now, I
Dr.
must
Sade got a
say,
story.
That
yes,
that
I
that's
always
it.
like the
That's
story.
it.
I like the story.
Stories
queen.
and acronyms.
Okay.
There we go.
I literally remember I used to be a lifeguard and I was taking my lifeguard exam and they had us, we were at the end and they paired us with anybody. Well, everybody had paired up. I was new. So people that were new didn't know the other
Mhm.
people. So you had to find a partner. So this guy paired with me and he had this like wrapper chain on. And I was like,
That don't
we
seem
just
like
got
your
out of the
style.
I was like, we got out of the pool. Where did you get this
Right,
from?
what
And so
happened?
I'm annoyed by that because I don't, do thugs type. Sorry, thuggers. I mean,
no
but
thugs.
right, no thugs. But he had that on, and then we had to do mouth to mouth.
Oh.
And so this guy is basically like, I know you want to kiss me. I was like,
what?
can I get a new partner, please? Can someone please? And I literally was just like, look here, we only got 4 minutes with each other. Please just hurry up and get through this. Could not stand the guy. I mean, literally was like, if I ever see you again, I'm going the opposite direction. Fast forward, I get placed at my assignment. I probably was there, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. He comes through. I don't remember him because people I dislike, unfortunately, I put them out of my memory bank.
they're
And
dead to you.
I'm feeling some kind of way.
Uh-oh.
I'm like,
Uh-oh.
okay, he's cute. Who's this guy? If I'm keeping my cool, what have you. And later on, he ends up talking to me and he is reasonable. I do not remember him. Literally, I kid you not. We were a couple together for about a month.
What?
And he says to me, you don't remember me, do you?
Wow.
And I said, I met you somewhere?
When did he take
you
that
almost
chain
made
out?
me spit my water out.
Oh, right. Yeah. He still had that chain. I didn't see it at that time. He hid that.
Jeez.
But he literally had to remind me. And when he did, I said, yeah, you did right not to tell me about that because that would have been a no-go. I would have instantly told you no.
So is that when it ended? He told you like a month into it and he was like, I really can't. I'm not down with this.
No, that was my little boo by then. So I was happy. Put that chain away.
Did he ever wear the
away.
chain again? That's my question.
Not with me. He had the chain, but not with me.
See, but that's a concept though. See, and in that situation, now that's a movie in itself. Like right
It
there,
does.
like you.
It actually does sound like the plot of a movie.
Yeah, he gets out. He
was a movie.
Right, he gets out
You
with the
don't
big
wanna know
old
right
chain,
now.
gives you mouth to mouth. Like, oh, get off me! And then a couple weeks later, you get like a DM. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Are you still breathing? That mouth to mouth we did in class. Like, wait,
That
who
was
is
you?
this? That was you?
Yeah, unfortunately, he wouldn't have been in my regular mailbox, so I would have read that and deleted as if I'd never seen it. He would have been none the wiser.
That's crazy. Like, that's a crazy concept.
I know it is. It is hilarious. And the thing that I was thinking about movies is that I can understand why they can be so wildly unrealistic because I think about movies that are realistic. I don't know. Did you ever see Malcolm and Marie?
No.
It's that new Netflix movie.
Did somebody tell me to write?
It's in black and white, and it has Zendaya, and it has John David Washington in it.
I haven't seen it.
Well, that movie is basically, it's on Netflix. It's a Netflix movie, and that movie is basically them arguing for like an hour and a half.
Oh, I couldn't stand that.
In real time?
Like in real time. Like they would go and it would look like they were about to make up, and they start hugging and kissing, and then they would start fighting again. That is the whole synopsis of the movie.
No, that sounds realistic.
I don't get the plot.
But see, that's the thing. So it was I feel like it was something I could see being in a situation like that, being in a toxic relationship where y'all both toxic to each other and you're going back and forth and you're just arguing and you think you're about to make up and then somebody brings up something and it triggers the other person and then y'all go back to arguing. That's not the kind of movies I like to watch.
An hour and a half? Okay, for real.
Right.
Both of you all. You really set up an hour and a half continuously with your previous girlfriend and argue for an hour and a half.
It
wouldn't have been me.
Nah, I mean,
me personally, as soon as there's like, and this is why movies are unrealistic. They go through the whole thing. It goes to another scene and you see them laying next to each other all upset. Me personally, as soon as someone yells at me, I get really quiet. And that's it. I let them finish.
That is how it works, people.
I let them finish. And then once they're done, I say my part and I say, well, I mean, we could either not talk or we can resolve it and get over it. What do you want to do? Because I'm all for getting over it.
Growing up, I feel like in my life that nothing is certain. So when it comes to arguing with people and stuff like that, if it's not a big deal, and I mean 99% of things are not really that big of a deal. If it's something you can get over, let it go, because you never know when the last time you're going to see somebody is. And even if it's a reason for you to break up with somebody or you to end a friendship, leave on good terms. Like maybe we just not compatible. Maybe we toxic around each other. We don't have to be around each other, but look, I still love you and I wish you the best. Like it don't need to be venom and acid spit, in my opinion. And I try to avoid that at all costs. But it's not always up to one person. It takes two people to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sounds like two people need to be mature. And most times when people are hurt, that goes right out the door. They don't do that.
It really does. So now I'm starting to appreciate movies a little bit more because I like the unrealistic grand gestures. Just because it
jumping on a car,
like I mean,
outside in the rain.
Yeah,
but I love you. I love you too.
With your boombox going,
right?
Exactly.
On volume 1,000.
I still wish I had a big boombox because I would do that, but
no, you wouldn't.
Nah, probably
too
hasn't
bougie.
Done a grand gesture for someone that they were either really interested in and trying to pull, or you really messed up and you trying to get them back. I think everybody has.
I can't even call it a grand gesture. What would you consider like a realistic grand gesture? I mean, like not jumping on a car. What's like a realistic grand gesture?
I think it depends on the person. So if I'm somebody who's really emotional, I'm looking for you to give me some emotion. So you coming to me singing a song probably won't do it. But if I'm not emotional, I might be like, "Oh, look at you singing that song." I mean, I used to not be a person that was very emotional, and I would always date guys that when something went wrong, I didn't know it. They would have to tell me. I'm like, "Oh, we communicating via the song? I didn't know it," and I had to listen. And then they would like point to certain things, and I'm like, "Are we mute? This doesn't make any sense."
You see how when he said that his heart was broken into 1,000 pieces by what you said, that was me.
That was all me.
I was just.
She's like, wait, who said that to you? No, he was talking about a song.
I was just joking.
See, me, I love like when it comes to like music and stuff like that. I think those are perfect for like relationships and having conversations, because music. I mean, most of the musicians and things like that, they say the things that we need to say.
They can just say
hard to say.
They can say it a lot more eloquently than we can most of the time.
Exactly. Yep. They say the things that are extremely difficult for us to actually articulate in any type of relationship. So sometimes it's easier for you to, say, a chair is still a chair. Even but a house is not a home.
Now, Luther.
Break it down.
You know what I mean? It's easier that way. That's an interesting concept.
Is that Big Luther? Because that was the best version.
Yes,
I think it got to be Big. Big Luther was definitely the best version.
Luther, for sure.
I feel like it's a big contrast between music and movies, because I feel like movies we more expect the happy ending, the grand gestures, but music, it could be like sad song. And we won't think that the song is bad. I mean, look at 21. No, I'm talking about like a sad song, like 21. You don't get any conflict resolution. Like she don't talk about she gets back with somebody. That whole song is like a breakup letter. And that song, that album is sold like more albums than pretty much any other album ever.
We're talking about Adele?
Yeah, okay. The album 21. Yeah.
I appreciate that naming, because I was racking my brain for who?
Low key, like I was thinking the same thing. I was like 21, 20. I started thinking of what's that other person's name?
Taylor Swift.
Exactly. I started thinking of her. I'm like, wait, that doesn't make any sense.
No, we're talking about Adele. My bad. That's my fault. That's my fault.
It's okay. You do that. I would say for me, movies and relationships, I always, and to be honest, is like I always look at the movies and I hope that one day, like especially when they end well, that you could have that perfect relationship.
Yeah.
But I don't know if based on movies, if the movie relationship even exists. Like that perfect relationship.
But the movies don't show a lot.
They don't show any of the background.
It's
You
a
know?
lot.
Well,
It
that's
takes
because
a
it's
lot of
not
work.
counseling. It's supposed to uplift us. Who wants to pay $11 and walk home, leaving the movie upset and hurt and sad and disappointed? People don't want to be reminded of their own lives. They want hope that things can change, that
Yeah.
there is positivity and love that can actually take place.
I
I
think
want
that,
to be sold.
and see, I feel like that's great as long as people understand what movies are for.
And what are they for, Richard?
They're for
Right.
entertainment.
Do tell.
They're for entertainment. So like when like Will Smith does like a grand gesture in any kind of movie or any love story, and the lead character comes and it's like, you had me at hello, and all these dialogues that you have in the middle of the living room. It's a room full of writers that are writing this dialogue. So you can't expect every person that you with to be able to come and eloquently say all of this stuff and run across charismatically and do all these things, because people are actors and they're taking multiple takes and they have multiple writers to get that thing right. So I feel like grand needs to be understood, that grand can be different depending on who you are and what you subscribe
So
to.
I have an interesting movie that's kind of, I don't know if it was real or not, but Castaway, right?
Okay.
Now I know the concept of Castaway. He was
You familiar
on
with
the ship,
you familiar with Castaway?
etc. He
Dr.
was
Saudi
on
is
the
familiar.
island and he was stuck. Blah 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 blah. Anywho, the part I'm talking about
Is
is
Wilson?
the end of the movie.
Oh.
Not Wilson.
Okay.
That was a
Because
great
that was
relationship.
that was emotional.
That was
When
an
Wilson
amazing
went away,
relationship.
I was hurt.
His relationship with Wilson is kind of like your relationship with Shiloh. It's a similar concept. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
So my thing is this. So when he, at the end of the movie, he meets his wife again and he's reunited with her.
It was his fiance.
Whatever.
I mean,
He
it makes a
meets
difference.
this lady he was going to
Yes,
be
it
with.
does.
Okay. He meets this lady he was planning to be with. And she's actually in a relationship with
She's
someone
married.
else.
She's married to someone else.
Is that not a relationship, Richard?
Yeah, but it's a little bit more
But
serious
is it
than
not
just
a
a regular.
relationship?
It is.
Okay. But is it not?
Continue.
Thank you.
All right.
She is in a relationship with someone else.
Married.
And so it gets to the point where married, attached, controlled, cuffed, it doesn't really matter. She's in a relationship with this man. And the crazy part for me was when she like got out of the car at the end of the movie and it's all rainy and she's like, I love you still. And it's like I wonder if they got back together.
They did like kiss or something in the garage, right?
Yeah, they did. And it's like, I don't know. Like, there's nothing that happened after that scene, like, for me, that was like, okay, well, what happened?
No, I can't even.
I think that was a lot of processing, though. That was a lot to deal with. You think your fiance is dead,
Yeah.
and they come back, meaning that they survived 4 years being on their own. You're thinking about that, and all they're doing is pining after you, and that's the first thing they do when they get back. And here
Come
you
find
are,
you. Married.
married with a baby. You feel kind of bad. You feel like, dang, they focused on me while I moved on, and then they have to go through I struggled, but then they told me I should
Right.
my life.
Oh,
Like, all of that jazz. And you wonder, like, how realistic is something, and is that what happened?
So I feel like that was very realistic, and I'm guessing that part was probably added in, because usually whenever you do a movie based on a true story, the love story is usually a thing that gets added in or embellished on.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that was, in that moment, that felt very grounded and very realistic, because you imagine thinking that somebody's been dead for this long, you're moving on with your life, and then turn around and then you see somebody that you grieved over, because just because people die does not mean that you lose that love and the emotions that you have for that person. So thinking that they're 100% dead, and then actually seeing that person walk up to you and you still have those feelings, but you have new feelings with someone else, but those original feelings don't just go away. It's just not like, bye, like, no, I don't love you no more because you were dead. Like, no, it's like, I still love you. For her, she probably, in that particular case, if you switch it, if I had to be in that role, I wouldn't even want to know they was alive.
Yeah, that's a
That's
conflict.
probably how she got too.
That's a conflict. I mean,
Because now all those old feelings have come back to life.
right. And she has no
and-
reason to get rid of him now, because
Exactly.
they didn't end on like a negative thing. He just got shipped
And
away.
isn't that tough? You're with someone, but there's nothing wrong. They haven't done anything.
Yes.
But yet somebody over here on this other end is kind of calling you and you feel torn. Wasn't that a song by Usher?
Probably.
Sounds like
Yeah, Usher has a song for
I
everything.
would say another concept of movies and or television giving the wrong idea. Any type of Disney movie, any form of Disney,
Now
form
you all
of
have
Disney.
to educate me. I'm not really great on.
Well,
you mean like
I mean-
those cartoons?
So I mean,
What do you mean, like,
basically,
Be-
I'm gonna just give you the basic
Beauty and the
premise.
Beast is probably the one that gets broken down the most. People have the biggest problem with Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
I've never seen that. So
Well,
I don't know the
I'm just gonna
storyline.
break it down for you. Okay, you have a woman, you have a man who's a long distance away. This woman feels like she's down and out and she needs somehow to be saved. This man who somehow has all the tricks and magic up his sleeve to save her comes and saves her. They live happily ever after.
That's just Disney movies.
That's like all Disney movies. That's like every Disney show. Somebody is in trouble. This man comes and saves them, and then they live happily ever after.
So I don't
Isn't
remember.
that supposed to be the fairy tale though? I think that's the premise of
So-
Disney movies.
so-
the fairy tale.
Is that like? But that's the thing, though.
So
But-
since you're not really familiar with like Disney movies like that, I just want to break down Beauty and the Beast. Now I don't remember every intricacy of it, but it was a prince, and this prince was he wasn't a nice person. So a witch put an enchantment on him and his castle and everybody in the castle that made him into a beast and everybody else into objects like cups and candles and stuff like that. And
I never knew this.
yeah, so and it was
Really?
and it
You
was
never seen
it was an
Beauty and the
enchanted
Beast?
rose.
Never in life.
it's really good.
So yeah, so it was an enchanted rose that if once all the petals fell off the rose, the curse would be permanent. So to break the curse, the prince had to have someone fall in love with him.
As the beast.
As the beast. So what happens is that I can't remember exactly how Belle gets to the castle, but she gets to the castle and
What you mean you can't remember? So
Disney
have these-
is a little bit distorted.
they
Do
have
we
it
not say that That's
Clydesdale.
called bestiality.
well, I didn't even
Sounds
think
like
about
it.
that, but
well, Prince kissed a frog.
yeah.
What is that, right?
But so like
Did
just
I not say
just-
bestiality?
when you break it down like that. So the thing is, so it's like she got trapped in the castle with the beast, and so the wait staff, all of these singing.
She did not get trapped anywhere.
Singing
he kept her
wardrobes.
there because she stepped in there thinking that she was going to get her father back. Her
Oh,
father
right.
owed Gaston some money, but realistically, Gaston wasn't having it because he just wanted Belle and some Belle buns. But Belle wasn't having it. Belle went up there to saw the beast, and then she realized, I like
So-
big black men. Is
so
what she was
that's not-
thinking.
I like the Cliff Notes version.
That's what it was.
I don't think that's how
what
it went, though.
I swear to
But
you.
she
the
was-
ghetto Cliff
But she was
Notes version.
she was
And
trapped
then
in the
she
castle
meets-
with the beast, and then she quote unquote fell in love. So they said, "What is that when you fall in love with your captor?" that like?
Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm. Yeah. So they're saying like that's a classic case of Stockholm syndrome.
But it wasn't though. She liked black men, and she didn't. There
But he
was
wasn't
no other black
though.
men in the cartoon.
He was a beast.
Come on now, he
But
was brown.
but then he turns into like a
He turns
a
into a
not
white
black
man.
guy.
He turns into a white man. Just say it. Like he turns into a white man.
okay.
We don't know who Beast is at the beginning of the movie. It's just, it sets unrealistic expectations for kids. Okay, you're not about to meet a prince that's a beast. And I mean, I guess realistically, it could be a bad thing for people because in the movie, if you think about it this way, it could mean like, all right, well, you're going to meet this man and then he's going to be terrible to you at first and then things are going to get better. So essentially,
Oh, that's horrible.
that could
Yeah,
be, and
it
that's what it
kinda-
could be setting people up for. I mean, honestly, like, because
That-
that's what they're about. Like,
That's a great observation, actually. Really, truthfully
it could be
told.
like that could be bad. Like that could be like a problem with the generation that
being
we saw
treated
Beauty and the
bad
Beast.
in the beginning, and then having that person to treat you well after something.
Well, because
changes?
the reason why I say that is because in the movie Beast, basically, he's a cartoon abusive. Shut up! Don't eat that. You know, that type of stuff. So he's like cartoon abusive. He doesn't allow her to leave the castle. He doesn't allow her to do these things because he doesn't know her. He doesn't trust her. So what he does is she sets up all of these things. She's gonna win the Beast's trust, and that's how she's gonna get her father back. So when she wins the Beast's trust,
Wait a minute, who has her father?
the Beast. He
The
has
Beast
her
did have
father
her father.
trapped because her daddy
Wow.
was doing stuff he wasn't supposed to be doing up at the castle. He got caught up. He got caught up doing something. I don't know what it was.
I just want to hear you like narrate a whole like.
But no, he did.
This movie at this point.
But that's true. He got caught up doing something at the castle, and Beast was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna have it." So he snatched her daddy up. She went up there thinking she gonna save him. She had like a lantern and an overcoat. You're not gonna know. But I mean, she goes on and like I say, she endures all the abuse. She basically captive, right? And then suddenly she invites him to like a dinner, dresses him up. He looks like a really big puppy.
Then they
dog.
have the ball, right?
They have a ball, they dance, and they realize like, oh, well, I'm an actually good dancer, which I don't know how he's dancing on pause. First of all, the unreal expectation is just unreal. And I'm not saying because it's a cartoon. I'm just saying just the idea like he was abusive at first. She worked through it and somehow magically got him not to be abusive. And he turned into a white man. I'm saying like that's just terrible. That's a terrible concept. No,
I mean not. You making me see Beauty and the Beast in a whole nother light. Like it's not
I
like I really
Beauty and the Beast.
I'm not really crazy about Disney movies anyway. And I mean the other thing about Disney movies is as always the princess needs saving.
Yeah.
Except until recent movies. Except for Frozen, I think it was Frozen and maybe Mulan. The way that y'all talk, I would love to hear y'all like tell a story. Like I could just imagine y'all being at like a children's book reading and y'all telling.
Oh man,
I am the bomb of Dr. Seuss.
Yes,
I can throw down.
There you go. I want to blackatize Dr. Seuss.
Blackatize.
I want to blackatize it. Yeah,
no, I would love to see something like
put
that.
Some inspirational historical characters in there.
I know it's just so many times though.
And
like
then Benjamin Banneker, Whittick, like you know what I mean, like.
You just changing names?
Yeah, for sure.
I got you. It's so many different movies. There's some I can think of off the top of my head, some I got written down. Like I'm thinking about like Jerry Maguire. Like are you familiar with Jerry Maguire? Both of y'all?
Yeah.
It's like, so Jerry Maguire, I don't feel like he ever was necessarily in love with like his wife. Like it never really felt like he was. He just wanted to be a father.
No. See, that's the problem that people have in relationships.
Here it goes.
This is the problem. People believe that if I don't have these initial butterfly-like emotions, that we do not have this connection. Jerry Maguire started recognizing, it wasn't that he wanted to be a dad to her son. He started recognizing the value of a relationship differently. So anyone who is trying to learn about the knowledge or science of love is a decision. I decide I love you. So you don't just, I love our time together and you're making me fall in love. No, you made a decision to love this person because you like how you are being treated from them, whether it's good or not. So you decide to love them. Just like you turn it on, you can turn it off. It just takes more effort. And in Jerry Maguire, he started to love her. And as a result, if they would have showed this as this part, if it was that part, he would have seen the different things that helped him to be able to fall in love with her. That would have just came organically from their time together. They didn't date in this movie, so how was he going to fall in love with someone that he didn't date? But he watched. I can't think of the names of their characters, but he watched Regina King character to Cuba Gooding Jr. They got along. They were friends. They were business partners, and they had love for each other. He saw that and was impressed by it. He started looking and evaluating his own relationships or lack thereof differently. And that girl that he was engaged to, he recognized this isn't love either.
He did reckon. You know what? That's like honestly, like I was talking about it, but that's honestly like one of my favorite movies. I like used to like know the words by heart. Like when he came into the room, he's like, "All right, I'll do it. This used to be me." They would send me into the living room in front of the family, and I would.
Oh, you're so silly.
I love that. I love that movie. That movie is great, but you kind of making me look at it in a kind of a different way.
Yeah, all of these movies are.
I need like Dr. Sadia like sit next to us when we watch movies now, so we can break it down after we can have like a conversation about it.
There's a lot of weird stuff in movies in general. I mean, especially when it comes to Disney films. I mean, Disney films are beyond weird.
Whole nother level.
A whole nother realm. But I mean, I feel like a lot of movies these days, I mean, they're trying to get closer to being more realistic.
But the thing is like, honestly, the most realistic movies are the movies that I really don't like, because realistic, like I get realistic every day. So I feel like the thing that I'm really trying to say is that just whenever people are trying to compare themselves or their relationships and things that's going on in their lives to television and entertainment, remember it's just entertainment.
Yeah.
And this stuff
But
is not
why
stuff.
are they comparing their lives to television?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question, because I mean, I feel like some people don't have other good examples of
good
relationships. And so, I mean, even though some movies kind of contribute to unhealthy behavior and toxic behavior, and at the end, it's like, oh, we still end up together. We just fixed it. They don't show what it took to fix it. They didn't show that they had to choose love every day. It didn't show that they had to work on it every day. It's just like magically it's fixed and we live happily ever after.
Man, that would be awesome.
But even that, how can you show that we work on it? How can you show that we fixed it? Most people will tell you these are things that you need to do, but they don't tell you the how.
Yeah.
That's the intricate part.
Yeah.
So there's no one movie that is going to show every single person and couple how to work on you, how you give or receive love.
I have
no one movie that can do that.
I have a movie. Hitch. Now,
what?
check this out.
We going back to Hitch
I
again?
bring it back, and this is why, because you're saying there's no, and I'm not talking about actually Hitch. I'm talking about the character he was helping.
John, what's his name? John James? Character?
Whatever. It doesn't matter. But I'm saying he actually helped him do the things that he needed to do to become the person he wanted to be for old girl.
I don't think he actually became a different person. I think he just actually was able to express himself without getting his own way.
So wouldn't that be like an expression?
He didn't even do that.
No.
He told him to do all these things.
Yeah.
He did them, and it appeared as if that's what God, I think her name was Alexa or
Allegra.
Okay, the medication.
Come on.
So he did all these things to try to help him become appealing to Allegra. And when Allegra came to him and where he went to Allegra and was talking to her, she was like, no, I didn't like him, none of those things. And she started identifying the real person.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, so you mean the stuff that I was giving him, that didn't attract you? And she was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Interesting.
I just like want to go watch this movie.
Interesting.
It was some scenes that got cut out with Cressida Baylor, that character, if y'all remember her.
I don't know names.
Who's that?
That was the one that Will Smith's character Hitch was in love with at the beginning, who broke his heart.
Oh, the college girlfriend.
Yeah, it was some scenes that was cut out that I really enjoyed. It was great. But I mean,
what
for
were they
personally,
about?
it was basically he had ran into her as an adult, like as a grown Hitch now, like as a
grown up Hitch,
as this person that he had become. He had ran into her.
Didn't they do that in the movie?
No, they didn't do it in the movie.
He didn't run into her in the movie?
Not in the theatrical.
Okay.
What is it? Theatrical release? No.
Okay.
It was some cut scenes where they did, and she was kind of looking. I'm like, oh, hi. Even though he was still like the same Will Smith that he was at the beginning.
But he's Will Smith though, so I mean, he's Will Smith, so who knows, right?
So you had a movie that you want to talk about right now?
Are you talking about?
I think I love my wife.
Oh yeah,
I love my wife.
So I told you, I'm not really familiar with the. Have you ever seen that Dr. Sadia with
Chris Rock?
Chris Rock.
You familiar with them?
What's her name? Gina Torres, I think.
I just know she's married to Lawrence Fishburne.
Now, what do you think? I mean, with your take on, relationships and things like that. You say you've seen it?
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Your take on relationships? Do you think that movie has like some realistic aspects to it? Because I mean,
I feel like it did. I
Yeah,
feel like
I
it
mean,
definitely did.
I would say there's comparisons. There's lots of comparisons to a lot of relationships that I've seen either people be in or, just reflecting on that. What do you think?
I totally agree with that. Just that home life, most people get caught in the rut of being normal and boring.
Yeah.
And they look back to, dang, I was living a life.
I
And
used
I
to be
was single,
fun.
Right.
because you had all this different stuff, but you didn't have any safety, no security. You didn't have any real connection. You didn't have this support with this one person that was always there. So you miss that. Now you have it, and it's like, dang, I miss the excitement. But isn't that a kind of way of saying that you don't have drama? So what happened? He went and got somebody
So
and
he would
found
have
drama.
got some drama.
I think kind of part of that movie too, though, was kind of show they kind of started to neglect it. They stopped doing the things for each other that they were doing, and I feel like it's kind of important to reconnect whenever you're in a relationship.
When I hear people say they need to do all these things to
I,
reconnect, we have to consider real life and
mm,
what's happening. So at the end of the
she
day,
breaking it down.
let's just be real.
She Dr. Sauter in
Yes,
this.
I'm going to Dr. Saudi now. but for real, when we look at a relationship and making it work, you aren't always getting along. You aren't always doing the right thing. But what you are doing is you are appreciating, you're respecting, and you are showing this person that you're there, which overall shows that you love them. What does that
Right.
look like? Kids are not sexy. Okay, they're just not. Your boss dealing with you, and and you dealing with them and their craziness. Not sexy. You coming home being upset or upset with family members. It's hard to be like, oh yeah, babe, don't forget we got date night. I mean, it's hard to schedule that. And if you have young kids, shoot,
Forget
you
about
doing
it.
good just getting a nap every now and again. So I think it's important for real couples to remember you will have some periods in your relationship. Well, guess what? You may not be as close as you're desiring, but that's okay. Stay with it, stay connected, and still continue to do things together because every relationship goes through this period where you're in love, you're best friends, in love, best friends, because that's what solidifies this healthy relationship. It builds this foundation for building what Dr. Gottman calls is a sound relationship house. You have to have that friendship element, but that means if I'm a friend, I'm working on that just as
Yeah.
much as I'm working on this other part, the actual relationship. Married people don't have enough sex,
Oh, okay.
and they
Oh,
need to
yeah.
stop playing around. Married people, that's the way that they connect. And don't get me wrong, single people do it, but that's a whole different element right there. But married people need to keep that element because when you don't have time for the romance and all that, you find that connection when you are one on one and you have that intimate relationship in that moment. That's how you get that connection that you might have been missing all week. But in that moment, I can wrap up the week, the month, because I'm eye to eye with you. I'm gelling with you. We're one on one, and you get me, I get you. I'm pleasuring you, you pleasuring me. And then that builds that connection. But when you don't make that time for that, then all this other stuff will seem like, oh, we cool, but you don't really have exactly what it is that you need because another important element is missing.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of because it just felt like he was trying. It was something that he was missing that he was longing for. He was more physical. He wanted to be more physical. He was getting denied there, and I don't feel like he was actually where he needed to be mentally when it came to being engaged and his wife and their day to day
where he should
activities.
have been.
I just felt like it was just things that both of them were longing for from each other, and neither one of them were giving it
But
to
they
the other
weren't
person.
communicating to really hear one another. Just because you're saying it doesn't mean you're communicating. What he wasn't realizing, I can't remember now, but they had a number of kids that were yelling and screaming.
I
I
think
want
they
to say
had
there was a
two.
baby involved.
Yeah, it was a baby.
So I don't mean to be funny, but sometimes guys can be a little bit insensitive. You just
It's
opened
true.
up your hoo-ha to have this life come out of
He
you.
said,
And it's
"Yo,
like,
hoo-ha."
dude, I'm trying to keep it PG, right? I don't know what the rules are. I don't know.
You could have said
It's
Devon.
no rules.
You
You can
say whatever
In
you
my,
want to
in,
say,
in my
Dr.
world,
Sadia.
I say real technical terms. I'm okay with it.
I like hoo-ha. I like the way you
who high's fine.
giving everything a nickname.
But you have to be respectful. I remember literally, I dated a guy in college, and it didn't work out or whatever. We were really cool. We were really great friends, and then he wanted to date, so we tried that. Just didn't work out. Well, we lost touch or what have you. His wife didn't want us remaining friends, and I can respect that. That makes sense. Well, fast forward, this had to be the time where Google came out because he said he was sitting on the couch. His wife had just given birth. They had a 6-week-old.
Mhm.
And they were watching 2020, and Google was saying how you can look up anyone. So he got in his head, let me see if I can get back in touch with Sadia, because it had been a number of years.
After
And
he's got him a baby and all this
yes,
jazz.
do you see the connection here? So
Yeah, I
he
see
calls
it.
me at work because my job, I did things in the media, and he calls me at work. When he tells me that story, I was just like, you mean to tell me your wife just got through opening up her vagina, bringing out the air to your throne seat? You're sitting up here calling me? I should be the last person on your mind. Get back to your wife and reminding her who she is, because more than likely she's not feeling her best. She's not her prettiest. She's tired. She's taking care of your 2 kids. And here you
I
are
got
trying to
2.
reminisce.
Man.
I mean, communication, I guess going back to that, that's like the whole thing. Just ask what she needs.
Yeah.
As Carissa would say, communication is key. I love that commercial.
Clarissa.
Well, it's not even a commercial. It's not even a commercial.
Wasn't it a TV show?
No, it's just this lady that did YouTube or whatever video, I think a Facebook video, where she was talking about Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
She's hilarious.
Chick-fil-A.
Not naming hungry.
Now that's a relationship.
Except for on Sundays.
That's a relationship I can get with.
Would there be any closing thoughts that you would tell people when dealing with relationships and looking at television and stuff and thinking that everything is going to be perfect all the time? And
don't do it.
that's simple. There it
life
is.
in a pit of hell. No, don't do that.
Have heard
Everything
that
that is on
time.
TV, unless it's a true life, was it true e-story? No, I'm just not really there. But I mean, really, movies are meant to entertain us. Yes, they give us some education, but they give us more entertainment. And you cannot rely on a movie to educate you, to show you how to have a good, healthy, lasting, loving relationship. The only way you're going to get that is to become that. You have to be the thing that you want. And if you don't know how to be that, don't go looking in the movie. Go talk to somebody that can help you to do that.
That's words of wisdom from Dr. Saudi.
That's love. That's it.
I don't know about all that, but
Don't try to play it humble. You know, we love having you on. We really appreciate you coming through. For
I
those
love being here. I love you guys.
for those maybe like 2 people who don't know, give them a little bit about who you are and let them know where they can find you at.
Well, I am Dr. Sadia Twine. I am a marriage and family therapist, duly licensed as a licensed professional counselor. So I have a private practice here in Southfield, Michigan. And to be completely honest, I don't talk about that a lot. I talk more about the stuff that I do outside of the therapy room, because there's only so many clients you can see, but you can help so many more people in your community, those around you. So I like to do a lot of community events, but more so I would say right now I am pushing my subscription box.
Push it.
Why? Because it is talking about relationships and love. Many times we struggle to show up healthy in a relationship, sometimes being identified as too emotional, which I feel is just so disrespectful. It's not too emotional. It means that I'm more emotional than you. And instead of you coming up to be more emotional, you want me to come down so that you don't have to put forth any effort. That's not going to make a relationship work. So I basically help 2 types of people. The subscription box is called the Next Box. You can go to any of my handles at erosmithagape.com or go to erosmithagape on Instagram, click the link in the bio there, or click the link on the website, and it will take you to a webpage about the Next Box subscription box. And we help hurting hearts as well as healing hearts. 2 different types of people. Somebody who is actually working through recent breakup or dissolution of a marriage, helping them to heal healthily and to be able to move forward, being able to identify healthy people that will give them the love and intimacy needs that they want in their relationship. But also helping people who may not have had a recent breakup, but maybe I'm still struggling to try to find the right type of person that is good for me, that gives me what I need from a relationship, or as well heal from past relationship or childhood traumas. And I just kind of use emotional coaching from an attachment-based approach, helping people to really be able to love healthier, to be able to have the love that they want, so that they can make their next relationship their best relationship.
Boom.
Boom.
Well, as always, thank you for listening. To be a part of the conversation, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Rick and Eamon. Please be sure to rate and subscribe to the show on your favorite podcasting app. You can follow me at Dodsism, and that's DODDSISM, and you can find Naaman at
I am the DJ Blue on everything.
Yeah.
See, I need that. She gave me that back. And Richard never does that, Dr. Sally. Richard never does. He never backs me up.
What?
I love it.
I back you up. I've been backing
Get
you
out
up
of here, Richard. Get out of here.
forever.
Get out of here.
Until next time, boys and girls, remember,
There's always a next time.